So we have picked the student leader. After the kickoff, you're going to have the sub-teams meet. So now you have like 4 different companies in your group. They're all going to meet after that initial team brainstorming that we did, and they're all going to start talking about how we play the game, how do we strategize, and how do we do this, and what kind of robot do we need. Not specifics about how you do things, but do we need a robot that'll do, maybe it'll do this. They get to know each other in the sub-team, and they plan their own meeting times, and they can meet anytime they want. And you encourage everybody's input again. So they're going to brainstorm, they're going to organize and categorize their ideas. We'll talk about, like for instance, their ideas about strategy, methods of scoring, ways to grab an object if you have to, defensive methods, whatever you want to do. They're going to organize and categorize their ideas. Now again, I'm only telling you what we do, and it doesn't mean you have to do this at all. This is the way we've done it, and we try to do it. And you focus primarily on the gameplay, not on the robot. This is really critical. Don't focus on the robot. The robot will come from how you figure out how you want to play the game. Don't make it do the opposite. Don't say, well, gee, I've always designed a drive base in a particular way. Now I got to figure out a way to make that fit into the game. You do the game first, and then, oh yeah, I have this great design. Looks like we can't use it this year, so you shelve it and build something else. Because it's the game that's important, not the robot. So, each sub-team is going to design, critique, and eliminate ideas. They're going to analyze their ideas. They may construct a prototype. They may play a mock match, where they get out and think about in 2 minutes. Because a lot of people don't realize how short a time 2 minutes is. You have limited power in this thing. So. And then you may do an animation or a chat if you're good at that. And then they decide on what ideas are best, and they agree on an overall design for theirs. So now we have 4 designs, and they do a presentation. Each group is going to sell their concept to the whole team. So they come up, bring a prototype up, do whatever they want, and try to sell their idea. It may be that we don't even pick one of the 4. But we may pick pieces of the 4. We may meld them together later. But for right now, they're going to display, do a mock match, do whatever they can. Students are doing the presentation. And if you want to put a little higher stakes to this, bring in your sponsors, bring in your principal, bring in the parents, and bring in the media. Bring in that gives you higher stakes here, so that now, I got to do a pretty good presentation. I'm not just going to blow this off. This is going to be something important because people are going to hear me talk. Yeah.
Do you typically get these presentations done like in the first 5 days after the kickoff?
No, I haven't talked about it. Okay. I will though. We do our presentations on Thursday. They have 3 days to do it. It's not, I tell them, this is not like class assignment. If you have it ready on Friday, you get an F, just like in real life. It's got to be ready, got to be ready to go. And I'm going to put you up there in the front. If you stand there and look at me for 15 minutes, you're still going to stand there and look at me for 15 minutes because we're not talking about classroom work here. We're talking about this is important. I can say that. Then, after the presentations, we don't make any decisions. And we take a day off. We take Friday off. And we sleep on it. Because when you're giving these presentations, many of the students will get very wrapped up in their design. And they'll totally lose contact with reality sometimes. I mean, they want their design to win. They're very competitive, and that's really good. But
many friends.
And then if you try to make a decision that night, it's chaos. So what you do is you wait a day, and then Saturday they're much more calmed down. Now they can make a rational decision. At least some of them can make a rational decision. So we then on Saturday morning make our decision on what robot we're going to build. Not how we're going to build it, but what we're going to build. We review on Saturday morning everybody's design using GP. Everybody know what GP is? Gracious and professional.
Yeah.
You're going to hear that a lot. It's probably the best thing in FIRST. is that we all help each other. I mean, how many, I saw in championships in Atlanta, another team, in the final match, and these teams had never won the national title. 6 teams playing. I saw in that match, a team, it was the best of 3. A team got beat. The team that beat them had a problem with one of their mechanisms. And they didn't have the piece to repair it on the field. I saw the other team that had just gotten beat give them that piece to let them play in the match. Knowing full well that if they didn't, they would have won. They came out and then they got beat. The team that gave them the piece got beat. That's what gracious professionalism is. You show me any other activity, any other sport, where, gee, we're playing in the NCAA Final Four, final match, your best player goes down with an ankle sprain. Well, okay, I'm going to sit it out. I'm our best player. I'm going to sit it out so make it even. Nobody does that. We do that. And it makes first a lot different and a lot better. So you make a decision matrix. And I'll show you one here in a second. You're going to rate the ideas for quality, and then the highest point total wins. So here's a decision matrix. You have these attributes: speed, power, scoreability, reliability, defense, easy to build, innovation, and wow. My favorite is easy to build. And so then you weight these, and it may depend on the game how you weight them. You may need a game where you need a lot of power. You might weigh that higher than speed. In this particular game that this one is done for, speed and power are pretty much equal. You'll notice that innovation and wow, which are important to some teams, I have ranked very, very low. Innovation and wow are neat things to do. Go ahead and do them if you want. But if you want to win the game, if that's what you're trying to do, innovation and wow are good, but they can cost you a lot of time. So here you see 4 different sub-teams: white, black, red, blue. White has designed a complex robot. Pretty risky because we haven't done it before. But if we make it work, it'll blow everybody away. So it has these ranks up here. It's got a 5 for speed, a 5 for power. It's got a 5 for scoreability. Reliability, though, we're not really sure because it's a pretty risky design. I'm going to give that a 1. Easy to build, 5. No, defense, 5. It shouldn't be easy to build, 1. So everything's 5s except easy to build and reliability because we don't really know. Score is a 110. Well, here's a simple robot with designs we know that work. It can score well and be an okay defender. It doesn't rank very high in any one thing, but it ends up ranking higher than this. And it's an important lesson to see that you know, oh, you got somebody, the turtle here and the hares, right? Risky, not risky. Here, totally not risky. No, doesn't score very fun. Got a little bit of risk. Yeah.
So where in that would you weigh in something like, if your team has built a drivetrain in the past year and they know or they can literally build the exact same thing again in a few days, and then that would then allow them to spend more time on a complex mechanism, then like, how does that fit in? Because you have one part of it that's
2 places. Easy to build because you have a proven design, a known design. So you got easy to build would be very high. Your reliability would be very high on the drivetrain, but not if the whole robot was the drivetrain, then one thing. So you could put a lot of, and you can also, depending on speed and power, you could probably boost these up, and then you can actually give yourself a little bit more innovation points because you want to do that. So that's how that fits in. There's no reason to not build an innovative robot. I'm just trying to say that you want to make sure that you take into account. Some people will say, like, I'll give you an example. Our team last year, we built, in the off season, we built a swerve drive. We thought, oh, we're going to build a swerve drive. We built a couple of mock-ups, prototypes. That was our design going in. 4 weeks in, we realized we were having trouble with, and I can't remember what it was the trouble. We had to completely switch over to a four-wheel drive. And if I had thought about it originally, probably our decision wasn't a good one to begin with because I didn't have a proven enough design. Now, if you have a proven design, it's totally different. Ours wasn't proven, and we paid for it because last year our weakest point was our drive.